Welcome back, guys, to another episode of
Taste Buddies.
Okay, let's go. Today we have a very controversial topic. We just had a big argument right before shooting, and now we're just gonna say it again.
Regurgitate.
Regurgitate.
The Michelin Guide has just entered Malaysia. I think that's the biggest news in the culinary world in the last 1 week. And of course, there's a lot of hoo-ha on who are they to come and judge us, right? Of course, there's one side that says, why do Guailos that believe that crispy rendang is a good thing should be coming in to tell us what Asian food is good? And then there's the other spectrum where there are people who are saying, hey, look, this is good for the industry, this is bringing us to the world standard, this pushes us to the world stage, right, for recognition. So of course, I think between the three of us, there is that difference in mentality of why it's a good thing for them to come in.
Between them and me, basically.
Before we share our opinions and perspective on it, Ren Yi will give us some
hot takes on what this Michelin star is about. So I'm going to go to a blog page written by our friend Teresa Buhan. These are the things that we should have to know about Michelin stars. There's no such thing as a Michelin star chef, all right? Only the restaurant is awarded the star. Now, if the restaurant moves location, right, even moves next door, they have to earn the star again. Other than that, if you reach out to Michelin and say, hey, look, I want to be on there, can how much do I pay? They will not entertain that. The inspectors are full-time, hired full-time, and they undergo rigorous training, and they have to have at least 800 meals in 2 years before they can start judging. The inspectors are of 15 nationalities from around the world with equal number of male and female. And finally, they take into components, key components to decide on whether a restaurant deserves a star or not based on the quality of ingredients, the mastery of cooking, the harmony of flavors, the personality of the chef through the cuisine, and the consistency both over time and across the entire menu. So that's a quick summary, and I guess that will be on the basis of what we will be arguing about, right? So thoughts?
But also, I guess for the people who haven't heard of the Michelin Guide before, they are a body of like food reviewers, restaurant reviewers based in Europe, based in France. So it started off, it's the same company as the tire company actually, the Michelin tires. And they started off in France by providing a guide for people around France to travel and give good recommendations for restaurants to stop by on their like travels throughout the countryside and whatnot.
So that was a very smart marketing gimmick from the beginning.
Yeah,
they're
so
selling tires. They're like,
more,
yes, you are using our tires to reach destinations, destination of good food. And while you're doing that, let us recommend to you what we believe to be good food. That's how the Michelin Guide started. Right?
And I think in the beginning it started off as like a very casual thing anyway. But then slowly people realized that, hey, actually the stuff that they recommended were quite good. So we are trusted in their guides and trusted in their star system, so you can get like 1, 2, 3 stars. And from there, it slowly spread throughout Europe, and then like some time ago, the US also had it, and then now you probably heard like Singapore, Bangkok
Hong Kong
has it also.
No, it's all bullshit, right?
Okay. Why do you say it's bullshit? Let's break it down, yeah?
Yeah, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Okay, it's a tire company in France, right? The food culture in France is different. When he says it started out as casual, okay, in my opinion, there's no casual in France or in Italy. Like, food is so important for them. Like, you go there, you go to a market on the roadside, you get a tomato. Compared to the tomato here, totally different. Red wine, olive oil, everything. There's a food culture there which is very different from what we have here. That's one thing. 2, why now? Why suddenly now they come, right? It's business, so it's all money, right? They're making money out of it. It's a business deal. So they come here and they want to judge our food based on their anonymous people that we don't know who and what background are they from. Like, did we send them to eat chicken rice, 800 chicken rice before they can go and judge chicken rice? We don't know. So it's very secretive, for we don't know the process, right? And third, I remember seeing one of my friends posting on his Facebook, right? Michelin is coming to Malaysia, my wallet is ready. So what is it actually? It is just about money all the time, right? People expect when you win the star, restaurants use it as an excuse to jack up their price, go higher. And customers also expect that, right? So there's an expectation. So I think like in all this, right, the translation of what actually is a good food is lost. And I think worst of all, Western culture bringing in a template of what they think is Michelin star or world class and putting it on us. And we follow them like idiots. We are sheep. Right? It always reminds me of a book that I used to read. This recommendation to these two sakais here, right? The book is called In Praise of Shadows, right? So this Japanese writer, right? She wrote, right? We don't often think about how we think and what we think and being. It's all consequence of the Western side winning the war. there is actually a very Japanese way of thinking, very Asian way of thinking, which has already been lost, right? Because we are so used to putting all the Westerners on pedestal, right? And this is just what's happening. That's why I'm so angry about it.
Right, so I'm going to jump in here and say I disagree with what your assumption of us are. We're not defending and saying that Michelin is the best of the best, right? That is what they are trying to market themselves to be. What we are saying is Michelin coming into Malaysia, at least what I'm saying is, right, and Jun, let me know if you agree or not, it's a good thing for the industry, right? Now, apart from Michelin, there are other platforms where they decide Asia's top 50 restaurants, Asia's top 50 bars, right? No one has ever questioned, and I never heard you talked about who are they to say the Malaysian top 50 restaurants are, right? But we celebrate, okay, out of all these 50 restaurants, 3 come from Malaysia. We're all proud of them, correct?
I'm not.
Sure. But the recognition on the international stage is what we want, because at the end of the day, look, you cannot be very individualistic, because every time Singapore does something that puts themselves on the world stage for best laksa, best chili crab and whatnot, the Malaysians would be going rah-rah over, hey, that's not their food, that's our food. We have better food here. How come, they are getting recognition? So we can't have it both ways, whereby we don't want to participate. In your case, you don't want to participate, but at the same time, as a country, we want to say, hey, look, we want to be recognized. There must be some level of participation.
Yeah, you're just blinded by fame and recognition.
No, so we're not. So right, the thing that you said, right, about us being like, oh, we sheep to what Westerners think is good cuisine, right, good food, right? For me, like the Michelin guide is not the be all and all to what a good restaurant is, right? It's not like, wow, this restaurant 1 star, I think is like the best. So this guy coming here, sure, giving us ratings, good or bad or whatnot, it's just like it's a plus point to me. Yes, certain restaurants especially, who gets the stars, get some, even like the Bib Gourmands, which is like a lower rating than 1, 2, 3 stars, it will help these restaurants get more recognition. But as a whole as well, I think for the industry, I think it will put us, put like Malaysian food, Malaysian cuisines, and sure, certain restaurants especially, on like when you say the world's food stage, and that is something that I don't think you can deny, right?
Okay, you're saying this Michelin rating, right, markets our food on a world stage, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Right. But that's the thing, you only look at it at one side. So my counter argument, it comes with consequences,
Sure.
which for me, I'm not projecting, for me, it's not even worth it. Because one, you lose your own culture, you fall into their way of, your restaurant chase the standards we have set to them, right? 2, it's like it becomes an obsession. Right? How many restaurants have burnt out, lost money and everything? Like when you're talking about Michelin stars, you're not talking at my level anymore. You're talking about people putting millions into their restaurant, chasing these bloody stars. The level of madness is serious. This is people's lives, okay?
The thing is, when we put our food out there to serve people, we are subject to criticism.
Yes, I don't mind.
So while there is negative criticism, this and any form of award or any form of recognition is a positive acknowledgement.
But
and if there are people who
yeah.
wants to chase that, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It's a good thing for people who don't have stakes in it. That's all I'm saying. Right? And I'm using Marco Pierre as a precedent. When he got his 3 stars after a few years, he gave the stars back. Because 1, he's being judged by people who are no better than him. Right? 2, is killing him and the business. And 3, in general, for him, in his opinion and in my opinion, it doesn't do good for the industry in general. It's just madness. Right? Yeah.
It is madness when there is obsessive obsession, right, into it. I think that there's always a balance in life. It's never a black and a white, right? I'm quite sure he himself was obsessed with chasing the stars. That's why
then he realized like this.
Then he realized it's unhealthy for him.
Yeah.
That's fine. But there are people who are high performance that choose to continue to strive for it and let them do it. So I'm not saying that, look, they are the gods and that, every restaurant that they recommend you must go and makan. No. But overall, for the F&B industry, I believe there's some good that will come with it. And along with other awards that are also recognized locally, internationally, these are all good things for restaurants, cafes, street food, for us to bring our best to the table.
There was a heated argument.
Hotter than the chili episode, I think.
I think you better drink some water to cool down.
But surprisingly, I
Yes.
saw less than the chili episode.
Speaking of water, right? Yeah, that is the main topic of this episode. We are going to do a bit of a water taste test. What's the difference between like a, one ringgit water like ice swam or ice kosong compared to a bottled water, maybe like a spritzer or something versus like a super expensive one like Evian or any of the mountain water brands. We've always wondered about that, and today we are going to do a taste test, drink some water, and talk about it. Okay, so as you can see, we have a bunch of different waters in front of us, going from left to right.
Filtered tap water.
Filtered tap water from this studio,
Burger
my
Labs,
Burger Lab studio.
Yeah.
This is a summer water, which is the cheapest water I could find.
How much?
In the supermarket. This was like 60 cents.
Oh.
And then this is spritzer water, which many Malaysians will be familiar with. No, it's about like 120, I think. 110 or 120,
that's
about that. And this one is a weird one I found, which is really interesting. It's Langkawi Pure. Apparently it's from Langkawi, from the highest peak of Langkawi, Mount Raya. It's pretty expensive. It's like $4, $3 or $4, and it's 380 milliliters only, so it's smaller than the other bottles. Yeah, and of course you have your atas water, Evian.
Once we cover our eyes, we can't tell already. Let's do that. Let's do a sensory deprivation test.
Vivian is going to pour for us.
Let's start with random trees first lah.
Okay.
BTS.
Okay. So my water is in here already.
So this is in no particular order.
Yeah, okay.
Just by the sound of it, I know.
Wow. Alright.
Wow, there's a lot of water. I smell the blindfold.
I'm ready.
Okay. Me too.
I think so, yeah. Wait, let me see again.
Okay, say together.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Evian.
Summer.
Cheap water.
Summer.
Yeah, summer and the cheap water. Oh, the cheap water.
The hell? Not fair, they had the...
You said Evian, bro.
Yeah, I said Evian.
Okay.
It tastes like...
If he's right, we are wrong.
It tastes like
Sorry,
and crisp
Evian.
to me. So I need another reference point, but sure,
Okay,
I'll go with Evian. Can we change our answer later on once we have a comparison?
No.
I like June. It's like so investing.
So focused.
It's like so focused.
I want to taste the difference.
Okay, your glasses.
He just paid 5 ringgit for water.
Yeah, I went to the supermarket and then my total bill was like $80.
Hey.
For water.
What?
0.
Because you bought a lot of
What
bottles.
did I spend?
Second
Alright.
one is in your hand.
Wow, Vivian, this is a lot of water.
Yeah, you put down a lot of water.
It's too much. I cannot finish.
This must be the cheap one.
Okay.
She can pour so much.
Yeah, I think
No.
this is my Burger Lab water.
Hey.
Yeah, this is my Burger Lab water. Sorry, I know already. Just drink, I know already. Cheap water for me.
Guys, don't tie to my brand can up. If there's no change of mind, in 3, 2, 1, summer.
Cheap water.
My Burger Lab.
My Burger Lab water or
No, as in this is a tap water, filtered tap water.
It's so funny if there's Evian.
Wait, but actually this one I'm basing it not on the flavor. I'm basing it on like, wow, there's a lot. How come Vivian can pour so
yeah.
much?
Got new bottles.
We didn't
You
hear
have to pour the same-
Yeah, we didn't hear you
Yeah,
open
we
a
didn't
new
hear you
bottle.
opening no new bottles.
Oh, now they're pretending to open new bottle.
Yeah.
They're trying to confuse us.
I listened to the pour. The pour, there's a difference. one.
Oh, it's a cap one. Oh, that means
Except
it's
for-
not
except for
the not
Burger Lab.
the
Opening
filtered
a
tap
new bottle
water.
means it's a Langkawi one because that's the smallest one.
Alright, what if Vivian just open one bottle but she take the jug one and she pour? Wow.
What if she mixes it?
Oh no.
Oh, that would be a power move, man.
Wow.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Yes.
guys.
I know already. From up north one.
I think this is Evian.
Langkawi for me.
Yeah, either Langkawi or Evian. Wow, just swirling already. I don't know. I can conclude now, right? The money you pay for all those expensive ones not worth it.
Especially if you're hot, thirsty,
Yeah.
sweating. All the same, man.
Yeah.
Jun, what's your call?
Tough, huh?
Are you ready?
Walao eh.
I
You think you
think-
water Somalia meh?
From the taste, I want to say it's a spritzer, but
In my
Takan she didn't pick the two
Hey,
most
don't
expensive
use
one,
logic. Use your
eh.
taste. Use your taste to
Okay lah,
deduct,
taste I would say a spritzer lah, sure.
Did you choose Evian or?
yeah, I think Evian.
Langkawi.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wait, so
kena
again?
scam
Yeah.
First,
Second.
I forgot what was my answer already. So I got
None of you got it right.
I got Langkawi right. What?
On the first one.
First one, no one got it right.
The one you thought it was a cheap one.
Then you guys got the cheap water correct lah.
yes.
Second one, we also said cheap water.
Correct,
Yeah, you all got
correct.
it correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Langkawi, but you guys went for.
I went spritzer wrong.
But
But we
during,
still went high.
during tasting, we already say I cannot taste the difference from spritzer below, right?
I thought I could taste
two
different
goods
spritzer
from
because it's lighter, right?
Conclusion is, I know I can taste the difference, but I wouldn't say it's a 4 or 5 ringgit
Difference.
difference lah.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I buy this, I'm an idiot lah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's my opinion.
But in terms of-
projecting.
yeah.
sorry, so you gotta go there.
In terms of flavor and
bad.
like processing method wise, right, there is a difference, like, right? For the cheap like summer brand, they were saying it's like treated water, right? The more expensive brands, they will get it straight from the source, like this one from Langkawi, Evian is from the Alps, the mountains, and they just bottle it there. But some they will treat it they will add minerals into it. It will change the texture of the water. So like hard water in like Malaysia's tap water is quite like soft, so there's like low amounts of mineral in it. But then in like a lot of European countries, for hard water, there are more minerals in it, which makes the water taste harder. It might have like subtle differences in taste. Maybe it's a bit like
But
salty,
if only
sweet.
if you compare side by side.
Yes, yeah. If you compare side by side, then you can taste it.
I don't think most of us.
I can't actually read, but is it actually written in the fine print about what you're actually buying? Like, do they tell you the process and all the?
They'll tell you the sumber lah most of the time.
they tell you
They'll
the-
tell you the sauce. It's a
Will they
sauce.
tell you the sauce?
Type of sauce, underground water.
So I think especially for mineral water, make sure you read the fine print because it needs to be, there's a certain criteria for it. Like it needs to be from a natural source of water. Whereas the filtered water and all this other stuff is basically
Air Selangor.
air Selangor, but they either add stuff to it or they just filter it for
Yeah.
you.
It's, since we have a bit more time, we're gonna do sparkling water.
And this one, sure.
Might as well, right?
Might as well.
One is from the Burger Lab soda fountain, where it's just plain carbonated water. Same lah, carbonated tap water. The other one we have, what is it?
San Pellegrino.
Yeah, which is I think found in most Michelin star restaurants as a standard. I don't know.
Yeah, or
I think
like
so.
there are a few brands. San Pellegrino is one of them that people.
I think
use
because
for
they
sparkling
sponsor
water.
as well. They sponsor part of the Michelin guide. What we're gonna do is Vivian's gonna pour 2 samples for us, the left and the right, and then we're gonna taste test and see which one we prefer. So is there a difference to the My Burger Lab soda fountain sparkling water versus the San Pellegrino? So just for fun facts, right? Soda water or any form of carbonated liquid should always be served chilled. The reason is because when it's cold, the carbon dioxide dissolves into the liquid easier. That's why if you have a bottle of Coke, if you open it at room temperature, a lot of gas will come out, and then when you drink the Coke, it's more flat. But if you take the same bottle of Coke unopened and put it in a chiller, and once it's cold, you open it and you drink it, less fizz come out. But when you drink it, you get that really sparkling experience. So fun facts.
Feel more bubbles.
Yeah. Are we going for it?
Yeah.
The carbonation makes it more like bitter, you know?
Yeah. I used to not like that taste. Now I've grown accustomed to it.
Well, I don't know if it is a bicarb taste or what, or is it just a texture that
A bit,
makes
a
me
bit.
think about bicarb? Yeah.
A bit, yeah.
Just so you know, off the tap for us, one full cup is less than 30 cents for soda water.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean your cost or what?
My cost.
And that San Pellegrino bottle is like 250
That small
mils
bottle
for 550, I think.
The difference in temperature, we know already the answer.
It's alright. Like I said, without using
Okay.
Oh, but you're right. This is colder is more enjoyable, huh?
colder, definitely enjoyable, which might not make this a very fair test lah. But
no leh.
if
I
you have to
thought-
compare bubbles, I felt that the first bubble was coarser. if
Yes.
that makes sense.
This one is like the bubbles
Okay, I
are
understand.
smoother, you know. It's like you said, right? It's like more. I'm not sure whether it's more dissolved in the water, but the bubbles feel smaller. You know?
Yeah. What about taste? Can you taste?
Okay,
the
taste.
difference
I
in
think the
water?
second one is more bitter.
Flat and I don't know. For me, the flat and bitter lah. Yeah. Review?
Alright, yeah, mask off. I think, the first one is because it's not as cold. Number one.
It's got that taste as well.
Actually, I want to try it a little bit more. Alright, conclusion. Let's wrap it up.
From what you can see here, it's very hard to tell the difference in like the taste and texture. And sure, there are like slight nuances here and there, but when we did the blindfold test for the regular water, it was super hard to tell, at least for me, and seems like for us, all of us three. Talking about water also brings us on to a different, more businessy topic, right? Which is when you go to a restaurant, is it right for restaurants to charge for water or not?
Are we going to have another heated discussion?
I
Let's drink up first.
I think we're ready for that.
Yeah.
We've got water this time, so it's going to cool us down.
Let's go. Just now we had all different types of water, and then there's a different cost to it. From a very cheap one, from free tap water to filtered water, which is fairly cheap, and to the nice water like Langkawi, all this mineral stuff, right? So it's a very different cost, and one of the most debates that we F&B people like to talk about is whether it's right or not to charge the customers for water.
Yeah.
Right? Ren Yi, what do you think about this?
Okay. I think from my own restaurant's perspective, we sell bottled mineral water. We realize there are some customers that just, if it's tap water, even if it's filtered, they choose not to. They prefer bottled water. So we have that option. We do have water from the soda fountain. So we have our Coke range and whatnot, right? So there is an option to remove the flavoring and you just get either pure water, which is filtered tap water, or carbonated water. So those two we still charge, simply for the fact that in our business, we provide free flow soda. So we can't say, hey look, here's a free cup, you take water only, because people might take the price stuff. However, if a customer come out and say, hey, I want warm water, or I just want tap water, is that okay? We will give it to them for free.
So in conclusion, you do give free water
if they ask.
If they ask for it.
That's right.
From my side, there's no free water at Grab. So we charge a base of 3 ringgit flat price for unlimited water. But this is not just tap. We don't do tap water.
Yes.
We do like a filtered water in one of those machines that we actually have to rent.
If you think like Koei or that kind of, right? Yeah. So it is of a higher investment, right, on your side to make sure they get good filtered water.
So the reason why we do that is because sometimes when there's a water shortage or whatever, whenever we restart the water, I see the color of the tap water that comes out is actually very, very dirty, and also the location I'm in is a very, very old place in PJ, and the pipes are definitely not that clean. Yeah. So Jun, what about you? When you go to restaurants, because I think your point of view is from perspective of a customer. Do you get annoyed if restaurants say no free water to you?
I think it depends. Depends on the setting and the price point of the restaurant. So if I go to a mamak, right, if I order water, like roti canai is so cheap already, everything like Maggi goreng is so cheap. So when they charge for water, I don't mind that.
But how much is a tipping point before it's too much for water?
Right, so if you go for like a 200-300 ringgit meal, right, and then I ask for, you just do like water, and then I see on the bill, there's like 1 ringgit for water. I'm like, you're already charging, I'm already paying you 200-300 for food, and you still want to earn this $1 from water. It feels a bit, cheapens the experience a bit for me.
Okay.
It's funny, it's funny how you feel that way. I feel totally different. It's more like if I go to a high-end restaurant, so you pay like, let's say 200, 400 ringgit for your meal, then it shouldn't be a problem for you to pay 10 ringgit for a glass of water, because that's my personal opinion.
It really depends on the service, right? If they charge, let's say, I think 1 ringgit for unlimited refill versus 10 ringgit, I think there's a difference as well, right? But coming back to the mamak one, right? Because I think the most debate among Malaysians is, hey, 2 ringgit for water, let's say lah, right? But I think there's a threshold. And right now, what's the standard? 50 cents?
Actually, before we go deep into the discussion, right? Can I just ask you guys, do you guys know whether legally in Malaysia, do restaurants have to give free water?
Okay, so this one I know, at least based on the law that I checked on 5 years ago, and because there was a huge hoo-ha, right? Restaurants have to give water for free, from my understanding. But I think there is a definition of what that water is. Tap water shouldn't be charged.
Okay.
So does it have to be filtered? No. Just like tap water.
So
literally.
I'm just gonna give you guys what I know from my research.
Okay.
Actually, in the world, the only country that we know of that actually legally requires establishment that serves alcohol to serve free water is the British. So in England, Wales, and Scotland, that's the only place where technically, legally speaking, if you're at a bar, you can go to the bartender and say, I want water, and they cannot charge you for it.
But this is with the purchase of
No,
a drink.
actually, that one also I didn't go deep enough to look at the legal definition. But I know, right? If you're at the bar and you ask, let's say you're a customer, I suppose, if you ask for free water, they legally have to. They cannot charge you for it. Whereas everywhere else, like for example in Europe or in Australia, it's more of an encouragement. So the way they word it is actually affects the actual execution. So the way they word it is restaurants or bars must provide access to drinking water, right? But it doesn't actually define that they have to be free.
Yeah.
So the same case also in Malaysia. But having said that, so in Malaysia, KPDN has done a few ops lately. I think last year, August or something, they did this op called Ops Statut, where they go and to restaurant premises and hawker premises and find those people who actually charge excessively for drinking water. So the problem here becomes, how do you define whether it's excessive? Because there is no actual legal law in Malaysia that actually says that water has to be free, but they are using the Anti-Profiteering Act. So,
that is also a lot of gray area.
Yeah. So that definition there is a bit gray, but they came to the conclusion between the Hawker Association and KPN is 30 cents should be the
For tap water, filtered tap water, I assume.
For tap water.
Okay.
For tap water.
From my perspective as a restaurant owner, and how I coach my team, I say, look, at the end of the day, water is an essential item that everyone should have access for free. So if anyone comes up to you, customer, not a customer, they say, hey, look, I'm thirsty, I need water, give for free. Right? I think it's a basic human right to have water. So based on that, we have a baseline of if people ask for it, we will offer for free. But if they say, hey, look, I want bottled water and whatnot, obviously I can't give that for free. Anything that's from equipments or facilities that I built into my business, it will not be for free.
Unfortunately, I might sound very mean coming off this way, but I really feel that there shouldn't be anything free in a business, because like it or not, there is cost attached to it. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like why should people charge 1 ringgit or 3 ringgit for water, because the cost is definitely 1 or 2 cents or 10 cents. But I would argue that what about the cost? What about the overhead cost of running a restaurant? Right. My actual justification to my customer is, even though it's a cup of water, my worker actually have to wash the cup, dry the cup, send the cup to you. When you're done, take the cup down. And it doesn't even cover when they break the cup, or when they break the glass, or the glass is stolen, or when the water filter is damaged, then we have to call for repair, and also the electricity that we have to pay, because it constantly just consumes electric. So,
but why some restaurants do it is because it's part of the experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You come in, let's say a cafe, you're going to have a cake, you're going to have a coffee, right? Water, I'll give it to you for free. So that as a consumer, I feel like, okay, I will come back again, right? Where else a fellow cafe next door who might be charging for every single thing, from a consumer point of view, you'll be like, you're very calculative. Right? I'm going to bring my business elsewhere.
I feel like there's two train of thought. One is the mass airline, and the other one is the AirAsia methodology. So the mass one, you pay the price of the ticket, everything is built in. The meals is in there, the luggage is in there, everything is in there. Whereas AirAsia is all itemized, right? So
you're right. In AirAsia, if you ask for water,
you pay for it.
So I think maybe I've done it the wrong way. So it's just that because I don't charge service charge, and also I don't like a situation where I can be taken advantage of. Because I feel like if the customer already order a Coke or whatever, they are my customers already, and they come in and say, can I have a glass of water? Of course I can give it for them for free. But I just don't want to be in a situation where you are a busy restaurant and people come in and take the opportunity, okay, let's just order water. Not because we cannot afford it or what, it's just like, I just want to skim.
Take up the space.
Just want to skim.
Actually, this happens a lot in cafes. Right? Obviously, a lot of people like to work from coffee shops and coffee houses. And I myself, being a barista a long time ago, I've seen that happen. The worst case scenario for a business is one of the cheapest tea or black coffee, and they stay the whole day. But there are days where it's just 1 cup of water.
Wow.
Okay.
Did they charge for it? For the
No,
1 cup
for
of water?
Starbucks, when I was working
free.
with them, it was for free.
Okay, let's take this discussion a bit further and a bit more useful for our viewers. Do you think tap water is safe to drink in Malaysia? Would you drink water from the tap in Malaysia?
Personally, no.
Jun?
Usually I would like drink boiled water.
So you actually take it from the tap, you boil, but you don't need.
But
to
there's a filter.
it.
No, there's a filter.
There's still
in the
a
tap
filter
only. There's
outside the
filter,
house or
yeah.
outside the restaurant.
Yeah.
Right? I think most tap
Correct.
water from in restaurants, establishment or houses have 1 layer of filter. Because you've seen how that filter
Yeah.
looks like, right?
Yeah.
So-
Damn dirty.
So here's the thing, right? Technically speaking, right, the specification for our tap water is actually drinkable.
Yes.
So they already done the filter.
So you're talking about the garden one outside where there's no special
garden
filter
hose,
for
yeah.
it. Technically, you can drink it.
Technically. Because I read the funniest argument is like this, right? The customer goes into the restaurant and asks for tap water. Then the waiter will say, "We don't serve tap water because it's not safe to drink." Then the customer turns back and say,
What
"But
do you
you
use?"
wash
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah,
salad.
yeah.
But you wash my salad in the tap water."
Fair argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
But
it's-
that's because the business is built in a way where because they want to charge, hence they say that without thinking, you know,
but
what
I'm-
it implies.
No, but I'm putting it back to myself.
Yeah.
I don't drink tap water because I feel it's dirty, but I do wash my salad, my own salad in it, and then just eat it straight.
But to be
away.
fair, your tap water is also filtered.
Yeah, but I don't feel safe drinking it, but I'm okay washing my salad in it.
I guess
and
it's like
eating it.
trace amounts
Or
is
my
different,
apples,
right?
Yeah.
It's like maybe a bit won't kill you, but if
But
you
you
drink
feel
the
like
whole
drinking
thing,
it, the whole thing. Yeah.
But what do you guys think of the solution, right? Because I much prefer restaurants to, let's say, charge RM1 extra for all their food and other drinks. Let's
Yeah,
say.
build it in like.
Yeah, just build it into the rest of the menu and then just give.
But customers
free
are very
water.
funny kind because when you build it in, they don't see the benefits of it. I'll give you an example. McDonald's, right? When you order a set, okay, you expect the set to be cheaper than you ordering the fries or the drinks
Sure,
individually.
yeah.
Okay, so at Burger Lab back in the days, we said, hey, look, why play all these games of having 2-tier pricing where I force you to buy a set to get a cheaper price? So what we did was fries 4 ringgit, the drinks 4 ringgit, total 8 ringgit for the set. Okay, and everyone was complaining, hey, your set is not cheaper than you're buying individually. Right? So what we did was fries 5 ringgit, drinks 5 ringgit, but if you buy the set 8 ringgit. Oh,
Okay.
very good,
Yeah.
right? So what I'm trying to say, when you build it in, they might not see where you're coming from unless you purposely go and explain lah.
Right.
Right? So I think in this case it's the same as well. If you build it into the food, right, and say water is free, they won't appreciate it because they don't see that it's built in. They just, hey, I'm paying.
But
for
they
this.
won't complain, ma.
Oh, they won't complain for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's like a plus to you, it's a boon to you because.
But then there is that potential difference of, hey, how come your food here is so expensive? And when you're doing menu
True,
engineering, right, it's very difficult to say, I do the final price and everything at 1 ringgit. It doesn't work that way either.
Fair. Yeah.
Even though this might seem like a very, very simple discussion, but having said that, we already said in the beginning, right? Water, access to drinking water is actually a human right.
Basic human right, yeah.
It is quite an important issue to talk about, and I also saw this news where KJ Khairi Jamaluddin, he's actually taking steps from his ministry, which is the Ministry of Health. So they're gonna get involved. They're gonna push this Drinking Water Quality Act, right? Whereby they will try and install like a monitoring system. So I think what they are trying to do is there need to be a check and balance system where the government will actually monitor the actual quality of water coming out from your tap, and if it's not drinkable, then they will give the feedback back to the Shabas and all that. Yeah. So it is quite a good system. I mean, like I know, like we always say Malaysia is not first world country, right? But I think this is one of the basic needs, especially in like rural areas, right? I know we are like straying from the actual discussion of whether customers should pay or not, but yeah.
So tell us, what do you feel as a consumer? On what situation is it fair to charge, and how much do you think it's fair? Or do you believe that all restaurants or cafes shouldn't charge for drinking water? What is your thought?
Yeah, definitely have this chat so that we restaurants know what to do. Yeah.
I think everyone's going to lean towards, you know what, water should be free.
Yeah, I think our customer is always right. Like this.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I know that was a long episode to watch, and you probably got sick of us, 3 of us already. But we do have much more shorter contents, which is on our reels and on our TikTok. Those are much more fun, much more punchy, and definitely much more engaging to watch.
So we'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.